Dude, this thing is...
Come on, let me come over there.
Yeah, get over here. Brand new GoPro, hey!
You may have to put the choke on.
Woo, that vibration, baby. Summer, winter. Vibration's back.
Vibration! A little cold this morning. My bike's running cold. It's colder than it looks. Woo. There we go. Woo! Amazing.
That is dusty. All right. So we're on the Beta 200 RR. It's first thing, obviously vibration. Similar to the Yamaha. It's very lively. Like that's the best word I can think of right now to describe how lively, and not that the Yamaha wasn't, but I feel like, man, this is just not unruly, but it just wants to climb out of the rut. Like we're in the rut here, it wants to edge out, wants to climb it. So good day. It's actually really cool out, which makes it nice. It's gonna be a good ride. So excited to see. Oh yeah, she's got the power. I'm actually, so because I haven't ridden my first ride in months, I'm taking it easy anyway, but I think even without that, this bike definitely, I think, deserves some respect. Deserves some love when it comes to not overdoing that. Woo! That was a good one. Oh, the suspension is just gorgeous. Oh, that push down and recoil. I mean, that was very little effort to push down in it. Oh, it likes that. Oh, seat bumped. Jeez, that's gonna get me in trouble. I can feel it already. Because that is just, it feels so good. Oh boy. Overshot that one. Okay. Yeah, this trail deserves some. Oh. So the last bike that I rode was actually the free ride, which doesn't have the rear brake, and almost instinctively I wasn't using the rear brake just now. Just for whatever reason, I forgot to get my foot over the brake. Oh, see, this is, you just pound that. So the width of the bike is not an issue. I mean, standing up. I've been standing up basically this whole time so far. And I would never know that it's a little bit. A little bit wider. Oh, flag guard's coming in handy there. Deflected that. Something there. That was already worth taking the time to put those bad boys on, especially in a minute we're gonna be going through the willows, and those are just merciless. Even with the guards, they're just merciless. So it likes, I mean, it likes these gears. Maybe I like the gears. Oh, sheesh. Like just little bunnies become huge hops with this thing. Goodness, that is fun. Oh, blind corner into water. That was down into the right gear there. Yeah, get over here. So it's definitely too early to say first impressions, but first impressions, couple things I noticed. First off, vibration. It's there, it's real, it's a Yamaha feel, and it goes away just like the Yamaha did almost immediately.
Forget about it.
I forget about it. Width of the bike is not an issue at all. I haven't even noticed. Granted, I have been standing up most of the way, and so you're right here instead of knees here. We'll see when I get tired and I'm sitting down maybe a little bit more, if having that out. I did notice, did you say the brake was low or high?
Low.
Low. That's exactly, okay. I did notice that. In fact, I totally forgot about the rear brake until about halfway through, and I was like, why does this feel off? Something feels wrong. And then I was like, oh yeah, I've got a rear brake down there, because the last bike I rode was the free ride. So
That's true, there is no brake.
I totally forgot the old free rides up top. Anyway, the suspension is amazing. I am loving jumping off everything. It doesn't take more than just like a soft little seat bump, and I am airborne. Like just, I don't know if that's just because the rebound's like so high or whatever, but like I'm barely, like I give it just enough, and I feel like it just wants to sail.
That's fun.
Which is, I am like those just little like just every little thing like I'm gonna get myself in trouble because it is so much, like, and especially this trail, because there's a lot of those blind ones where, yeah, you're going up and over and all of a sudden it's like a blind corner, and I almost did it. That water one, I was like, oh, okay, stop and turn. And so I am loving that. At least on the rear. I mean, the front I think is good. I don't have a problem, but the way that it is just sending, like,
Right.
exactly the way I'd want it to. Seat bump, it's really good.
Motor?
It's lively. The gears are, I haven't been shifting much, which is unusual for me. Like, normally I feel like I'm stuck between gears. I'm doing a lot of shifting. Second gear is great. It's big. Like,
Feel like there's a lot of breath.
And I feel like there's power. I mean, obviously the power band, like where you get the optimal power is very specific, but I don't feel it's wanting for power anywhere.
Yeah.
There is nowhere where I'm like, whoa, like,
yeah.
every time I twist, it's actually the inverse. I'm having to be very like, okay, just a little bit this time, just a little, you know, all we need is a little bit to get around this corner. All we need is a little bit to get over this hill, because too much, and this thing just, it wants to go. I felt like it was wanting to climb out of the ruts a couple of times where I'd get a little close and little throttle, and it was just like.
That's partly because of that front tire.
Yeah, and that's what I said too. I was like, I think the front tires just it wants to grip and go, and I'd rather have that on the back tire.
Right.
But you know, honestly, the back tire isn't
not terrible.
Like, we've had worse back tires. So
it's just a fun freaking bike. Like, every time I ride it, I have fun on it. Like, it just puts a smile on my face. It has plenty of grunt. Don't let the 200 fool you. You know what I'm saying? It's a ripper.
That's exactly it. Like, honestly, in some ways, I think I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna be better with this than I was with the Yamaha.
I totally agree with that.
Like, in a lot of ways. I haven't noticed the turning issue.
You only notice on downhills, like really tight downhills. Other than that, you'll never notice. Well, sometimes you'll be like trying to cut corner or something.
Or do a circle,
you know, or circle
around.
You'll notice it, but it's not a big enough deal for me to be a deal breaker on this bike. Like we always say, no matter what bike you have, it is not perfect.
So is that a screw that you can turn in? Because it's hitting a screw right there.
Yeah, so it's hitting the screw, and if you take the screw out, which you can, it just hits the radiator. Does that make sense?
So that's what it's... Yeah. The screw's there to keep it from hitting the radiator.
Yeah. I mean, and that does... You're right. That will give you tighter turning radius for sure.
All right. Well... No, like, so far, the only thing I've been worried about is the fact that I haven't ridden in a while.
Yeah.
So I've been taking it easy, but at the same time, I think I'd be taking it easy anyway, because this bike has plenty of grunt, plenty of power, to the point that I've got to be careful. It's the best way to put it. Like, I can see myself getting in trouble with this bike very quickly.
Just like you say, it's different, but the power's there, and like, you know, I feel like I can wheelie whenever I want, you know. And
it wants to, like, that's the thing, it wants to come alive at every twist of the throttle.
So to me, it's like, yeah, and I'm with you, it's like I never felt like it was lacking for power ever, which is unique, because with your 150, there were times where I was like, I need more power.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't like riding the bike completely full tilt.
Yep. Where you're pulling the clutch and twisting the throttle completely, and yeah, just doing that. Like, this does not need that. This,
you need to give your bike history. So one thing that we haven't been doing, guys, is we haven't really been kind of telling the story of, like, Logan's story on how he got into dirt biking, my story, what bikes we've had, just kind of, you guys can get an idea of what our experience has been. Like we always joke, we're just dudes that love to have fun and ride bikes. We're nothing special. But, you know, Logan, you know, his first bike, he got a used Honda CRF 250X, which is, it's a decent bike to get into. You can get them for $3 grand, you know. They're easy bike to use. They're not going to tear your arms off, but plenty of, you know, room to grow. Electric start, kind of a deal, right? They're kind of big old birthy old girls, kind of a deal. So he went from that.
She's a good old girl.
And then he went from that, then he got a 2017 KTM 150 XCW. So that was kind of a crazy gap. And you know, you basically rode that Honda for 1 year, right? And then you broke your finger and you're off for like 6 months.
So yeah, with the Honda, I don't even think it was a year.
It may not.
It was that first year of riding. It was during that first year of me riding. Yeah, I broke my finger. I was off. We'd already known that I didn't. That I would be moving on to another bike sooner than later. So it was just an optimal time to get rid of the CRF, move to the KTM 150, and then from there, let's see, I had the 150 for over a year, about. But then realized that not that I had maxed out the potential of it, but that I wanted to try something else to help improve my skills in another way, because I was running into maximum, like I was, you know, twisting the throttle completely in some places where
because we ride such a variety of terrain, and that's the hard part. Like we were saying, like if we just rode mountain single track, like these smaller bore, like a 150 XCW would be actually money, which is fine. But we ride out in the desert, in the sand, and big sand whoops, and you know, places like when we go to St. George, I imagine having
completely different
150 XCW would be
terrible.
Would be harder to ride. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, not a lot of fun, and that's part of why we're doing this, is for the fun. Like it's for the enjoyment of it. You know, and so if it's not enjoyable, like it's something we talk about with mods. Like if a mod helps make the bike fun for you,
do it. We don't care. But don't.
Who's to say that's the wrong thing?
You think you're going to be faster, because it's all about the rider, not the bike.
Right. And there's obviously that argument, but it's, you know, it wouldn't have been fun, and I was starting to reach that where everybody I was riding with was riding the bigger bikes, and it just made more sense to make the move sooner than later. So after that year of having the KTM 150, picked up the YZ, the 2018 YZ 250, and just fell in love with that bike, and just really grew to appreciate, because before that, the 250s that I'd ridden were all KTMs, and honestly scared me most of the time half to death.
That you rode all the time had a high compressor head, and that sucker, it'd eat you for lunch.
Oh, that thing was scary. So I was honestly nervous about the 250s. I knew it was time. I knew I needed to make the move, and I wanted to. It wasn't that I was being pushed or anything like that. I wanted to make the move. But the YZ, I just fell in love. Even from the first ride, just taking it down the street and back, I still remember just being like, wow, this is fun. And since then, I have grown to appreciate and love the KTMs, but it also has to do with both respecting and improving skill. I still consider myself beginner, maybe borderline intermediate, and most of the intermediate doesn't come with time. It comes with the fact that I've just ridden a ton of a variety of bikes and a variety of terrain. It has nothing to do with time, because as far as time goes, I'm definitely in the beginner category, in my opinion anyway. So
I still feel like a beginner.
yeah, we all feel like a beginner,
especially the first of the season. Like, dude, I don't even remember how to ride it.
Jeez. But I feel really good, honestly. I do think, and we don't have to do it now. In fact, I don't want to. I don't want to change the handlebars yet. I want to complete a full ride with them, but I do think they're a little back.
I agree.
I can feel that, and I honestly, I want to go through the whole ride to see, you know.
Yeah, and we could even go halfway down to the.
And we might, we might end up switching them, but
that's not a problem.
I want to give it a fair shake. We've been going like 5 minutes, so not that longer than that. But anyway, so it's good. I'm eating a lot of dust. That's fun.
You want to go in the front?
No, I mean it's just the nature of it.
It's dusty.
It's just dusty. And it's funner to stay closer to you, so.
and I think there's a reason why everyone's going this way.
Beaver dam.
So
We love our beaver dams.